No, you gotta build what you want in your life. And, I'm just trying to work real hard right now and save money and use it towards things that I really think are valuable. And that's just getting content out there and telling the American people what farmers and ranchers need right now.
There is a podcast in Iowa, Farm4Profit was named by they. Fate stirred up a banker near, then quick came an auctioneer. Making profit was their first goal, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. These formats shook us to our core. With Farm4Fun, you will not snore. The banker set all mics to on, and the moment of podcast was born. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go. Before we knew, conversations grew. Growing corn even said F you. So won't you join Tenor, Dave, Corey, and crew? Please like, share, review. Soon may the farmers come to bring us guests and beer and fun. One day when the recording's done, we'll take our mics and go.
Hey listeners, welcome back to the Farm4Profit podcast. This is Tanner Winterhoff.
This is Corey Hillebo.
And we are short Dave on this Farm4Fun episode, but never fear, he will be back in the clear.
Dave's actually not working.
He's not. He's technically working.
He's paying to work.
He is. He's paying to go on vacation to work. But that is totally a Dave thing to do.
I need to do that. Come on, guys. Come pay me to work on my farm.
Make a trip out to Hillebo Family Farms. We will be fixing feed lines.
And you can load pigs.
Welding gates, load pigs, and you'll be on vacation.
It sounds like a burden, more of a burden for me than anything.
Remember, this is a Farm4Fun episode. We have two different formats. The next show in your queue or the next one that comes out is a Farm4Profit show. Not a lot different. Same hosts, just a different way of tackling a topic. Profit is more topic-focused. Fun is more person or guest-focused.
Yep. And as always, we do a listener review in the beginning. Today's listener review is brought to you by Geringhoff, head of the class, no matter the crop. Check them out at geringhoff.com.
Yes, we've got a text message that you all sent to 515-207-9640. That is area code 443. It says, started listening after Tony started his podcast. Have gone back and listened as far as 2020 and still working backwards. Keep it up. Especially enjoy your Farm4Fun shows. Grew up around ag but don't actively work in ag. Always looking forward to a new episode dropping.
So this person that texted, I want to know, if you're working your way backwards, are we getting worse or better as we go back? Because we should be getting worse.
We should be getting worse. That's correct. So I responded back because I like to have conversations with you guys when you send them in. And he is a bridge mechanic and welder for the Army Corps of Engineers. So really cool to see where our listeners are listening at and what they do.
I can only imagine. So as an Army Corps bridge, what do you say, welder? And
bridge mechanic and welder.
Mechanic. So when you get like a work order, do you take a year to get to that? Because I'm just giving you crap, man. But that's what it seems like when we work with the Army Corps on some stuff.
Get some projects
like
done.
Tile done and that kind of stuff. It takes them a year to respond to like we just need to go fix a piece of tile, man.
Yeah. You know who doesn't take a year to do anything? Or someone who is just doing everything all at one time?
Who?
Our guest for today.
Oh, my gosh. This guest, so we're pre-recording this. No, we're post-recording this.
Post-recording.
We're post-recording this intro. We've already done the interview. This is an amazing. Guys, you want to stick around for this. It's a woman, and she is got her hands in everything.
Everything. And it seems like she's doing everything
and
well.
She's a country music star.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we knew fully what to expect, but afterwards, I think we made a great new friend. Certainly someone we're going to stay in contact with for a long time, and probably going to be one of those that you need to go follow if you're not already following.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll get to it here in my intro, but man, it was, what am I trying to say? It was a sleeper.
Yes.
It was a sleeper episode. We knew it was going to be good, but we didn't know it was going to be this good.
Yeah. Well, let's stop talking and let them get to it.
Let's get to it.
Let's get her introduced.
All right, I'm not going to touch it. No hands. I'm not touching it. Our guest today on the Farm for Fun show has a strong voice. This voice is not just for agriculture, it's a mouthpiece for women in ag, country music, and taking on the hard topics head on. Find her on all the streaming services, YouTube, Fox News segments, TikTok, Instagram, at Steph Nash Music. She is Stephanie Nash.
All right.
Welcome, and this is some of her music too. It's great.
That was Stephanie right there.
Yep.
Hey, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
So, are you coming to us live from Nashville right now?
I am actually in Louisville, Kentucky, at a little agriculture event. So, not in Kentucky or not in Nashville, but not too far from it.
Louisville.
Louisville.
We were down there for the National Farm Machinery Show in the spring.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was there too. Good time.
So you got the whole get up on. She's got the cowgirl hat on and everything. What are you doing at the event?
Yeah. So it's our bank with our farm, and they're holding like a little get together meeting. They did a panel, like talking with their customers about what they can do better, things that they want to know for the future and stuff like that. So they're really great. They're awesome people. They actually funded my trip to the machinery show. We did a little autograph signing and promoted my music, and they've been amazing. So love them.
Oh man, I don't know how we missed you. Well, I know how we missed you is we were down there with Sucut Manufacturing, and we never left the booth.
No, we did a lot.
Oh yeah. I didn't leave my booth either.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work when you commit to something like that.
Uh-huh.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? What's your tie to agriculture, and what are you guys doing now?
Yeah, so a little bit about like our family. I'm a fourth generation dairy farmer. We're originally from the Central Valley in California. Just like everybody else in 2008, 2009, everybody started to think about agriculture a little bit differently, whether it was the business side or what state you were in, water availability, farm inputs and making a profit. So in 2013, we moved our dairy farm to Tennessee. We were lucky enough to be in a community that really, truly understood the importance of agriculture. And at the time, and I believe it still is, Tennessee is a top 10 friendly business state. So we are now going on 9 years in Tennessee. The last 2 years, we have built a creamery. We sell our own ice cream. We sell our own cheese. We do farm tours, a lot of education. I myself have kind of ventured into a little bit more of a bigger role when it comes to talking about agriculture. I've taken a position with ambassadorship on Fox News under the Turning Point USA to talk about agriculture and be their rep for our industry. And, I love to be loud for agriculture. I love to be honest. And I think, world needs a little bit more farmers and ranchers to feed the world, in my opinion.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That was okay. How do we start here? Okay, first of all, you don't just move a dairy like that. That would had to be a huge undertaking. Why move to from California to Tennessee, and how did you actually physically ship the cows?
Yeah, so we actually shipped about 970 cows. At the time, Hilmar and, big Jersey farms were thriving. So we're like, let's just sell off the Jerseys and take the Holsteins. It was about a 2-day trip. They would stop in San Antonio at a feedlot, eat, drink, and all that good stuff, and then get back on the trailer and keep going to Tennessee. So it was about 38 truckloads, I believe, from California to Tennessee.
And I don't think of Tennessee as a dairy state, but apparently it is.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. And then how did you get this ambassador job with, and I can't remember, it was Turning Point USA?
Yeah. So I actually got contacted by Fox News after some of my TikToks and my advocacy online. about our food supply, about pricing in the grocery store, and just being honest with what farmers do every day. And they came out and did a documentary, and then Fox and Friends called, and then Fox Nation called, and then Tucker Carlson called.
Wow.
And that kind of turned into a relationship that said, hey, we don't have an agriculture ambassador. We know nothing about that industry. And, we think we should. If anything, COVID taught us to depend on locally grown and depend on our rural communities a little bit more. And so they brought me on March of this year to be a speaker for them. I'm also not only go to their events, but I'm also on the speaker bureaus for high schools and colleges across the United States.
Wow. Congratulations. Holy smokes.
That's awesome. That's what ag needs. And she, unlike us, we have a face for radio. She's got a face for TV. So it's probably, it's good that you're on and not us.
Well, a face for the stage, too, because what you didn't say in your introduction is we played one of your songs as part of our intro. So where does country music come into this?
So I've always been a singer. I just never really, grabbed the reins and took on full force until we moved to Nashville. Funny story, I've told it a million times, but I love it. Charlie Daniels' godson was trimming hooves at our dairy farm as a part-time job. And he was also an amazing songwriter, just amazing voice, so unique. And so we started writing music, and I got into just going out, meeting people. And that led me to meeting Kent Wells, which is Dolly Parton's producer. And so he has produced all of my music. I'm actually going back into the studio next month to produce some more. And he just understands the importance of my mission, whether it's a song about agriculture or just a good old country song, of how I can use my platform to advocate for both and just love country music.
I'm just enamored. This is so cool.
Yeah, it's like a starstruck, right? Need your autograph.
That's right. We needed to stop by the booth in Louisville. Maybe we'll catch her next year when we're down there. What's the inspiration behind the country music side? Do you have country artists that have inspired you? I mean, like you said, you started writing with Charlie Daniels' godson. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
But what's your true inspiration behind your music style?
I think growing up, everybody says that, the big artists that are still singing, of course you can't miss Dolly or Reba or Shania, people that started us off, Loretta Lynn. But my really big influence, and she doesn't really sing anymore, is Leanne Rimes. And I don't think she gets the credit that she should. I mean, she's got one of the best voices, in my opinion, in country music ever. And I loved her soulful, honest songs, and I wish she would keep singing. But I just think, as an artist, even looking back at Reba, she grew up in agriculture, and, she goes to Farm Bureau meetings locally and talks about her upbringing. And country music is kind of missing that. I mean, that's what it used to be like. Like, look at George Strait, look at Cody Johnson. And I feel like they're kind of missing the point of, those songs that we should be writing. And, it's great to have co-writers and other talented people in Nashville, but it's different when you're actually sitting down and writing from your experiences or writing from what you see out in the world and giving it to people to be an influence for them. So, I mean, going into country music, I just kind of want to change it and bring back agriculture, bring back that country living life that country music is supposed to be like. So, but it's been fun. It's been a journey. I'll tell you that.
Well, when you go back in studio, maybe you can pull Leanne Rimes out of retirement and get a little collaboration going.
That'd be badass.
I would pass out, honestly.
So would you say Leanne Rimes is your favorite country music singer?
I mean, yeah, her and Brooks and Dunn. I love me some Brooks and Dunn. Woo!
They're
people,
good too.
I think, they stopped singing for a while. They're on tour now. We were actually at their concert Saturday night, and it was just amazing to see them back together. And they're one of my biggest inspirations as well.
Great. So besides yourself, who's someone we probably don't know now that we might know in a couple years coming up through country music?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. I really like my buddy Hunter Mounts. He's great. He's a Kentucky boy. And his buddy Kyle, they sing at the Nashville Palace quite a bit. I always go for those really southern or western vibes that nobody recognizes nowadays. I mean, you got your pop, and then you got your like real good country that like is just another level of emotions. And so, yeah, I'd say they're my top two.
So I'm still just trying to figure out the logistics of your day, because you said that you are getting more involved on the farm side of it, on the dairy side, and you've got your advocacy role with Turning Point, and you're a country musician or singer. Do you perform live, or is it only studio? When do you actually get to get in front of a crowd of people?
Yeah, so I took a decision to kind of step away from music for a little while. I'm still releasing music. I actually have a music video coming out on Country Rebel next Friday. But it was getting to the point where I kind of had to, decide where my money was going. That's a big thing. It's really expensive. I think it's more expensive than it was before COVID to do country music in Nashville. And so with the farm and with everything coming up on Fox News, I thought it was kind of the opportunity to take a bigger role for agriculture. That's really where my heart is. I love country music, and I really would love to do it. But I want somebody to see the talent that I have and not kill myself and then end up not really loving it anymore, So I find the time, and you guys are going to die when I tell you this. I also work at Texas Roadhouse at night.
What? Why? What?
Yeah, just during the week, so I can fund all of this stuff, like the music and the traveling for Fox News or the Life of the Farmer series that I have on YouTube. Like, just trying to keep it rolling. The advocacy's got to keep going.
All right, we're going to have to get Tucker Carlson's number and tell him they're not paying you enough. If you have to pick up shifts at Texas Roadhouse, or Texas Roadhouse must pay damn good.
What? I was thinking she needs to be part of Texas Roadhouse's campaign, their advertising campaign. Forget working during the week. Let's go make Stephanie Nash the face of Texas Roadhouse.
Kind of like John Daly with Hooters?
Yeah, just like that. just like that. Yes. All right, we will advocate for you. We will be the Stephanie Nash advocate.
She's probably doing you probably go there to sing the birthday song. That's what they like, to put everyone on the saddle and sing the birthday song. Sing happy birthday.
That would be an extra special birthday. That was good. I didn't even think about that.
I'm going to have to go. So I'm guessing this is in Nashville, or is it closer to home? The Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, it's Murfreesboro, which is like 25 minutes.
That Texas Roadhouse is going to be booked
for
the next 3 months.
Well, everybody with fake birthdays.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
Oh, shit.
I love that. So I found you on TikTok, was my original discovery of you. Just your messages, the way you speak so freely about agriculture. And then ventured over to Instagram, and I think you popped up as a suggested follow. But where it kind of got interesting, and I didn't know how to connect necessarily the two, is you also have a decent-sized YouTube presence with your Time Changes, the Life of a Farmer series. Is that what you were talking about earlier, or is that your own private project?
Yeah, so that's my project. So I started that back 2 years ago as a movement for people to understand the importance of family farmers and ranchers. I am honestly over agriculture companies spending millions of dollars on celebrities that have never even drove a tractor in their life. Yeah, it's great for people sitting at home, but that doesn't even show like an inch of what family farmers and ranchers do every day and what we deal with, whether it's, financials or weather changes, as we saw in Kansas, or the feed that we have to buy that is way more expensive than it should be, or, prices in the grocery store. The farmer and rancher can kind of explain that. and we can kind of be honest with our food supply. And it's really more of an emotional episode. You know, people get to tell their story. They get to share what's going on in their state and how people can actually help them that live nearby.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't have a comeback. I mean, that's something that I wish we could do. I mean, we try to share the stories of people like you and farmers and those involved in agriculture through this podcast. But watching some of the content that you put out there, that was fantastic. And I would suggest all of our listeners go out there and find it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's hard to do, but I think it takes more than just one voice. It's everyone. Like it's like Shay Myers that we had on in the onion industry that we didn't know about. I mean, so we need everyone speaking up, telling our story.
Yeah, we got to...
Me and Shay are buddies.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. He's been on Fox News too.
Yes, we did. We did talk to him. We said he needed to be the next Secretary of Ag.
Yeah, he would be good at it.
Do you have any political aspirations?
I mean, I would like eventually to either be Tennessee Ag Commissioner or up in the USDA high enough, not just in the USDA, but high enough to make some actual decisions for us.
We would gladly let you in there for that.
That's kind of what we talked with Shay about, was if we could just get you there, if you didn't have to put in the years of time at lower level positions to get your stripes on your shoulder, if we could just take and set people with common sense in those roles, I think we'd be better off.
Well, you're either a lifetime career politician that works your way up, or you're like a
country
Trump.
Music star. Oh,
yeah, a celebrity, right? You're known enough by people, and then you form your opinions, and then you can just be placed in that. And so that's what she's doing with all of her channels.
Right.
So we'll be able to place her here shortly.
Okay, so we've talked about the family dairy. We've talked about your advocacy role. We've talked about your singing, Texas Roadhouse, your documentary series on YouTube. I'm going to call it a documentary series. But you also have a merch store. You also sell merch. What? I don't know. I don't know how you have the time.
I'm going to guess there's like no boyfriend or husband or anything.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to that.
No, well, I sell merch, but I don't promote it as much as I should. I mean, again, that Fox News thing came up in an opportunity, and I've kind of been busy with that, just making content, trying not to get banned on TikTok, trying to be nice, but, I'm just overly honest. I mean, people need to hear it. It hurts a lot of feelings. Some people don't like me, and that's okay. I don't take it personally. But those are the people that, need to just listen to the farmer and rancher. We're so stuck on science and numbers and what is healthier for you, quotation as I'm doing on my fingers. We're listening to the mom at home that has never planted a potato in her life. And you're not even listening to the family farmer and rancher out there that's doing it every day. I have 5-year-old kids that know more than a mom sitting at home on her YouTube channel. So it's just the reality that I think our generation especially is just kind of fed up. We're at the point where our family farm and ranch is in jeopardy of being sold off, or, we're going to go out of business if we don't start speaking up about the honesty of farming and ranching.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, there's such a disconnect, and we've seen it in, we had an interview with an ag teacher, Brianna Mueller, that, she has myths that she has to bust with students that are even living in an agricultural community that have never taken an ag class, don't have the exposure, let alone adults with power and money to make decisions.
You and I had a phone call from someone we know that when we were going down to Louisville of telling us how agriculture is wrong and how we're destroying the planet, and she hasn't grown a thing in her life.
Right.
She just Googled something, and you can find all the scare tactics online of how we're just destroying the planet, and it's not real at all.
So is that the reason you took to social media, both Instagram and TikTok, to help get that message out, or did you just stumble upon those platforms for another reason?
No, TikTok. I started TikTok when COVID started, and, us as a family were trying to get grants, for harder times. Everybody was going through it. And, I was reading statistics of what was being given out and what was supposed to be given out through the USDA. And it just really wasn't adding up for me. I was seeing so many, especially being a dairy farmer, so many dairy farms going out of business right now. Wisconsin's losing 2 a day. California, obviously coming from there, they continue to lose dairy farms. And I've seen, the swine market, over 60% have gone out of business. And that's family farmers and ranchers, not even big corporations, like Smithfield Foods, that's going to pull out of California by 2023. So it's just something that I was like, hey, we have to start paying attention, or this agenda that they're talking about with the Green New Deal and food from processing plants and lab grown, food, or whatever you want to call it, is going to kind of take over our shelves, and the farmer rancher is going to be gone, or the opposite. They're going to bring in cheaper food from other countries. And then American grown will be no more. And so it's a serious topic for me. I think I'm really passionate about it because I really do believe that's the direction we're headed in unless change happens.
Yeah. So Tony Reed, plug your ears right now. I'm on the Farm Bureau board for our local county. And I was concerned with this lab grown meat thing, or protein. I struggle to call it meat. We put out a survey every year to find out the issues that we should be pushing, and something was on there about that, the lab-grown protein. And it didn't pass by any means, but there was like a third of people that said, I can't remember what the specific question was, but there was like a third of people saying that there should be more education on it. And that was concerning to me, that there was that many people in central Iowa. And it's like, what the hell is going on?
Right. I just look at the dairy industry as a prime example of the amount of battles that you've had to have an association and lobbyists and those representatives there to help make sure that almond milk is not milk, and
nut juice.
It's right, but why is it called? Why is it allowed to be called milk? I mean, that's just one really easy example of the headlines that you guys are continuing to battle in the dairy industry. So what do you see for the future for Stephanie? What obviously your focus right now is the Turning Point gig. You said you put a lot of effort into that, but what does Stephanie want to be when she grows up?
Well, the next 5 or 6 years, me and my dad are going to start transitioning things. He is not that old, but he's getting up there, and he's going to want some time off more than he has now. And so, we're going on 9 years in Tennessee. He figured by maybe year 14 or 15, I could be transitioning over to all of his jobs, so him and my mom could retire. Just trying, honestly, being the umbrella for the family. I am a woman that, again, does not get her feelings hurt very easily. I am overly passionate and overly honest. And if I can protect our family business and our family dairy farm, I know I can protect other family farmers and ranchers across this country, because honesty wins every time. I don't care who you ask. If you're going to listen to somebody that is sitting in their basement, educating themselves off of Google about the agriculture industry, you are totally wrong. And you are on the bad path of what is going to happen to our food security here in the United States. So being the umbrella for that family, being a leader in the United States, being honest with the American people, I'm going to continue to strive to be just a big influence for agriculture. And sometimes I have to talk about hard topics and be honest, and not every farmer and rancher is going to agree with me, but at least, I'm being loud and I'm being consistent, and I just love being a farmer and providing for the world.
That's great. Shameless plug, since you're going through your transition, you should go back. I know you probably don't have time to listen, but you should go back a couple of shows. We had Elaine Fraze on, and farm transitioning expert on a couple of our shows, and she was fantastic. You should check that out. It should help.
Yeah, even if you don't listen to our shows.
I'll go listen.
Yeah, even if you don't listen, go check out Elaine.
I listened to a couple last week because I just wanted to see
if we were
I've listened
real.
to you before, but just no, just like kind of how it went and stuff. And I've listened to before because I've had people send me your stuff, but yeah, I'll go back and listen and just see what she talks about. That'd be great.
Cool. Do you think the food security thing and the lack of knowledge is the biggest issue we have in agriculture right now and going into the future, or is it something else?
I think Americans not paying attention to all these politicians and government and what they have their money in is another issue. You look at Bill Gates, he has the most land of anybody. He is also very invested into Beyond Meat and plant-based and lab-grown food. And it's those kinds of people that will kill and destroy our food security here in the United States because they don't even realize the sustainability that we have as an agriculture industry. Just because you believe that a cow is bad for the environment, doesn't mean that you are correct. Doesn't mean that you are correct. And so, yeah, I mean, education, food security, they come together. They got to work together, and taking milk off the menu, starting to feed your kids plant-based at a young age, and like really, I said this. I filmed last week on just the big stance that I'm going to put out here soon. Is we have the opportunity to let our kids grow up knowing what hard work is in the agriculture industry, and to be able to have mentors in rural communities to show them where their food is coming from. And we are missing that opportunity. Kids are on their cell phones. Kids are playing video games. Kids do not want to be a part of agriculture because they are not growing up in it. And that is such a problem. And USDA has so much money for education. I don't believe they're doing it the right way. I don't believe during COVID, when we were dumping milk, that there wasn't a low-income family or a low-income town that couldn't have had that milk. We can do better. I know we can do better. It's just the people that are in office, they're just messing everything up for our food supply here in the United States.
That's passion, Corey.
It is passion.
And I don't disagree.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you are the Turning Point USA ambassador for agriculture. And I'm happy that we at least, it's one news source.
Yeah.
And we don't even know how often they reach out to you, but it's still nice that they even thought about it to start the process.
Yeah.
But as we like to wrap up these interviews, we know we are not as good as we could be at asking questions. So did we miss anything about Stephanie that you want to share? Is there a question you wished we would have asked you?
No, I feel like we hit everything. We're pretty
Nice.
spot on.
Good job, Corey.
Yeah.
What's the best steak at Texas Roadhouse? To get?
What's the best meal?
What's funny? So in our group chat, I'm like, hey, I got to plant corn. I can't come into work. Like, it's like everybody knows, right? And so there's this one kid, his name is Nick, and he comes up to me and he said, this guy wants a lean cut of prime rib. And I said, does he know what prime rib is? So Nick's like, can you go talk to him? And I said, sir, I would really recommend, if you want some fat on your meat, don't get a prime rib. If you want lean, get a ribeye or a sirloin or something.
Yeah.
But it just cracks me up because I do it more than you think. People come up to me, and it's nice because then I get to talk to people about where their food is coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't go wrong with their sirloin. I think it's so good at Texas Roadhouse. Their hand-cut steaks are the best.
Nice.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
You're an inspiration because literally every restaurant, every business has help wanted signs. You have music and Turning Point and a farm and all this stuff going on, and you're still picking up a shift at Texas Roadhouse when everyone's sitting at home in their basements, not doing anything, not working. So that's an inspiration.
Yeah. No, you gotta build what you want in your life. And, I'm just trying to work real hard right now and save money and use it towards things that I really think are valuable. And that's just getting content out there and telling the American people what farmers and ranchers need right now.
Absolutely. So the last question that I've got for you is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Let me think.
All right, so listeners, while she's thinking, don't forget that you can send us an email to farm4profitllc@gmail.com if you have a favorite up-and-coming country artist that we don't know about or another guest that we should have on this podcast. Also, you can leave us a voicemail, 9640. But
You can text it too.
yes, you can.
Yep.
So if you've got favorite songs or songs we might not have heard, you can also send us links there. Wouldn't that be kind of fun, Corey?
Yep. Yeah.
There you go. Well, what do you think? What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I mean, it might not be advice. It might just be more of a, growing up, I had a grandpa that was very encouraging, wanted me to do everything. I think he would have loved for me to take over the world in agriculture when I got there. But I mean, just having people pushing you. I've learned there's going to be people that you lose in your life that don't support you, and that's okay. But take those people that are your biggest fans along the way, because they're going to push you to places that you never thought you could reach. And so I have a great support system. I have a father that sacrifices time to have me so I can, make extra money, because everybody knows farming doesn't pay a lot. And so I just have a family that just continues to push me in the right direction and supports me on all my adventures.
I agree. I think that is big, whether it's in farming or in whatever your passion is. Having the support around you, those to motivate you and keep you moving forward, is key.
Yeah. Man, this has been fun.
I don't know. We always try to come in with an open mind, but I don't know if we expected such a great conversation.
Yep.
And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Well, I mean, just all the little tidbits. Like, I didn't know about really the Fox. I didn't know saw a Fox deal, but I didn't know the in-depth. I didn't know the Texas Roadhouse thing, and then the whole story. It's just amazing. We need a bunch of more people just like you.
Oh,
yeah, we're working on that. I work with Protect the Harvest too. There's a couple of us behind the scenes that talk monthly about issues, and we post content. So you're going to be seeing more of us. They're just not out there yet.
Awesome. Well, if our listeners want to keep pace with you, how is it best for they to stay in touch? How do they want to find you? Where's the best way to track you down?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Stephanie Nash Music, TikTok, Steph Nash Music. And then if you're ever in the Nashville area and want to come take a tour or eat some ice cream, eat some cheese, have a grilled cheese sandwich, we have a creamery called Nash Family Creamery. You can call them and they will connect you with me.
Awesome. That has been a pleasure. It's been our pleasure to have you on the podcast. We thank you for taking some time out of your busy day. We will let you get to your next phase. But again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And listeners, until next time, have a good one.